All right, so the Adidas AdiFom Q released finally, and I got my hands on a pair of them. I actually walked into Foot Locker and scooped them up, which is pretty crazy. But this is kind of a controversial pair of sneakers because of obviously the Yeezy foam runners and Kanye going on record saying that Adidas basically is biting his style and creating an unauthorized version of like his foam runner. I just wanted to give you guys my 2 cents on the shoe, show you guys like a detailed review of the shoe as well as a comparison to the foam runners, and give you guys 3 similarities and 3 differences between these 2 models. So let's go ahead and get into this video. What's going on, guys? Hess here. Hopefully you're having a good day out there. Thanks for stopping by and watching. If you guys are new to my channel, please consider subscribing. And if you guys would like to follow me on Instagram, Twitter, I'll link in the description. If you guys want to buy a pair of these, I will link them as well. I'll try to find these available at retail. Sometimes they don't have them available right away though. But I assume after these release a little bit longer, they'll be available on Adidas website for you guys to scoop up. This is the first colorway. It's kind of like a bone colorway with little hits of orange on it. Really like this colorway. And there's a lot to really like about this model. So back in 2001, Adidas had a sneaker model known as the Adidas Quake. And this is supposed to be inspired off of that previous model. You can definitely see some direct inspirations from the previous model, but I can see why people would think that this has some inspirations as well from the Yeezy foam runner, specifically because of the shells. So first impressions of the shoe, it's definitely a bigger, chunkier sneaker than I anticipated originally. When I put them on feet, I was like, whoa, this definitely has like a bulkier feel on feet. It was kind of nice on feet though as well, and just the way that it created the overall inner booty of this shoe was just kind of a cool little feat. It definitely did not feel like a regular pair of sneakers, but it definitely didn't feel like a pair of foam runners either, and I'll get into the comparison between those in a little bit. I did like the liner though. The split tongue is kind of a nice feature, and the laces on the shoe are pretty welcome as well. Without the laces, you can't really wear the shoe. Now as for tech specs, I can't really get into them because they don't have them available on Adidas website anymore. However, it does say Adi Plus on the back of the bottom of the shoe, which lets us know that this is Adi Plus foam that they created the shell of this shoe with. I would say the inner liner of the shoe is actually pretty flexible for those wondering, and I did go up a half of a size to a size 10 instead of a 9.5. I think I could have gone with a 9.5 true to size and it would have been better. I really wish I would have tried them on since I actually got them in store, but I had my kids with me and it was just kind of a hectic day. But anyway, what do you guys think about the sizing of these? If you guys have them, leave a comment in the comment section. Do you guys think true to size or not? So how's the overall comfort of the shoe? It's actually pretty good. Obviously it has the Adi Plus cushioning inside of here, and it's definitely soft underfoot. One of the first things I wanted to do is take the laces out and take the removable booty out to see what this thing was constructed of. It kind of reminds me of the tennis shoe from Pharrell and Adidas, just the overall like look of the upper, but obviously the outsole, it's not an outsole, it's a drop-in midsole, and this is kind of like a softer foam, and they do have a weird little button thing at the bottom here. So that's definitely an interesting design element where it actually has like a little Lego piece, one little Lego piece that you kind of have to fit in, and then that is exposed to the outside of the foam. And I think it's kind of a cool interlocking system that they created. Very simple, nothing super technical, but it's functional and it works. And this is one of those things where I could use the shell of this one, and I can mix and match the uppers depending on how many pairs of these things you get. So I think that's kind of a rad thing. Like you can really make a shoe look very different and very unique just by mixing and matching the inner and the outer shells. So overall, it's a pretty comfortable shoe. It's not something that you could go running in or anything like that. I definitely wore these out in public, and I got a couple different comments here and there with people looking at the footwear and going, those are crazy. What are those things? And so it was definitely drawing a little bit of interest out there. And one thing I wanted to mention about the comfort, you can't really wear these with just the shell unless you went down like 2 sizes or something like that, or maybe a full size, because it just fits extremely big. Obviously you have the booty that goes inside of here, and then your foot has to be at least this size to fit inside. You'd have to go down quite a bit, but you could wear them. It just doesn't really work that way. There's just too much wiggle room in between. So the aesthetics of the shoe, I gotta say I really like the look of the shoe as well. I like the curvature of the upper. It kind of reminds me like of the Foamposite era as well. As you can see the back heel section, it just the different waves, and I don't know, it looks really fluid, if you will, and I like the delivery of that. So now we've got a little general overview. I wanted to go into some of the similarities between the foam runners and some of the differences. We'll start off with 3 similarities that I wanted to point out. Obviously, the first one is the foam shell. This has a foam shell. This is a foam shell. Look, they're 2 different foams, so it looks like the same thing. I personally don't see what Kanye is talking about with these 2 shoes. Like, they're fundamentally completely different things. I guess I would say the overall shape is fairly similar, so that is another similarity between the 2. Obviously, they're actually quite different in shape, but overall, like if you look at the shoes side by side, it looks kind of like a mimic of each other. Obviously, with some different tweaks and stuff in the heel scoop, and then the big bump in the front, and just the overall appearance is a little bit different. But fundamentally, though, the shape of a big foam shell looks very similar. Hand in hand with that, the other similarity is the uniqueness in the marketplace. Now, there's not too many shoes that look like either of these. There's a Merrell's as well that kind of looks similar-ish, but really there's not too many other footwear items that look similar to these. So I would say that there is some sort of uniqueness that they have in common because of that. The differences far exceed the similarities though. The first thing is the foam density between these two things. This is significantly firmer than what the Yeezy foam runners are. This is quite a soft foam, and this is noticeably firmer in hands. So softer, squishier on feet. The Yeezy foam runners are actually over top of the AdiQs. The other key difference is there's extra hardware obviously here. There's a completely removable booty that comes out that you don't obviously need or have with the foam runners. So this makes this shoe quite unique and quite different than what the foam runners have. And like I already said, you can't really wear the shell just by itself. So the wearability of the shoe is completely different as well. Also, the last major difference that is notable, and I already mentioned it, is the traction on the outside of the shoe. You have actual rubber on the Adi Plus is over here, and you don't have that on here. It's just foam all the way through. So this is fundamentally just a different shoe. So I don't know, what do you guys think about Kanye's claims about Adidas like biting his style and stuff? The crazy thing to me is like it could be argued one way or the other, like legally or just in a casual conversation of like, did Adidas bite Yeezy style and stuff like that? And honestly, like the thing that I keep coming back to is if Kanye was a team player and wanted to see the brand grow along with his growth, and it wasn't such a me, myself, and I sort of scenario with Kanye, like he would actually look at the overall situation and think that having something that mimics something that he created is a smart move. It helps strengthen the brand across the board. Like these sell out every single time they come into stock. These could be a trickle down of something that could sell out that has a similar-ish sort of vibe, but along the same line, but completely different. And I think that having the trickle down or the knockdown versions of things is something that Nike is like accustomed to doing, and other major brands is accustomed to doing as well. It's a way that you can hit more target demographics than just by having the hype of what Kanye is bringing with this model right here. The fact that he's saying that he makes up, what is it, like 68% of like all online sales, does that seem absolutely ridiculous? Like it feels like there's a lot of asterisks along with that statement. I don't know. I feel like there's definitely some like a fudging of the numbers. But that's kind of what Kanye does in general. He's the greatest rapper. He's the greatest this and that. Adidas would be nothing without him. Gap is going to be nothing without him sort of mentality. It is what it is. I think it's an interesting conversation. I don't think it's a healthy one. I don't think it's what Kanye is doing is healthy. I think it shows that it doesn't know how to manage businesses properly. And also, anybody remember the whole Sway interview? Like Sway didn't have the answers of Kanye being able to set up his own infrastructure and do things. He had to go through the channels like Adidas to be able to be successful. He made those things happen. Success happened, and then now he's just going to venture off and do his own thing. And it's kind of like a slap in the face of Adidas and a slap in the face of Gap of like, they didn't even help him along the way at all. I don't know. I mean, Steven Smith is also a huge designer. He helped design these things. So thinking that Kanye did everything 100% just himself is just, I don't know. It just seems very, very Kanye-like, I guess. Anyways, what do you guys think about the AdiFom Qs? I think that's a pretty cool looking shoe. Definitely unique, definitely different. I like the black and orange colorway coming out soon, and I'll link them in the description when they go live. But I appreciate y'all for stopping by and watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video, and leave some comments. Let me know, again, your guys' thoughts. I'm okay for the debate. Just don't get all like crazy in the comment section. Anyway, have a good one. Hopefully we'll see you back for some more videos. All right, peace, guys.